Annie, you have some beautiful friends around you here. Okay, this is what I'm going to ask you to do. Can anyone else? Does anyone else think, oh, I feel Annie right now. I feel like what she's asking, but I would ask it this way.
Absolutely, I feel her, but I don't know how to put it into words either. But I do understand what she's saying, but I don't know how to put it into words either.
Start, and let's put it together, because believe it or not, half the solution to any question is finding what the question is. The scrutiny is over the question 9 out of 10 times. Once you ask the right question, the rest is automatic almost. That's what are we doing? We're building a deficiency. What does that mean? That means I need to formulate the right question, what I want the creator to do. And it's a tough one. It's that we spend our whole life doing that, figuring out what is the exact. So I understand that you said something about the fact that we know that we need to connect to the group, to the environment, to be in connection and all that. But on the other hand, in order to do something, we have to disconnect. Is that what that's what I gathered from what you said. That's and I heard it twice. And is that what you're saying?
Annie, excuse me, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but you stop me if I'm getting you wrong. We have this environment and we have these wonderful people around us, but the work that we do takes us out of this environment and puts us in an environment where this isn't going on.
What work do we do that takes us out of this environment? Which work are you talking about?
Well, I'm sorry, and again, Annie, you stop me if I'm not speaking your words, but we live in corporeality, and we come here as a rescue from that. And we have this wonderful base and this support system, and none of us really even want to leave here, but of course we do, because we have to, as Rav said at the conference, we're at the top of the pyramid, and what we do trickles down. In the process of that, of leaving this environment and going into an environment where this doesn't exist, we have to leave this environment and go into an environment where this doesn't exist. So how do we do that? I mean, how do we carry this out into the world, and how do we carry this out into the world? I don't want to go any further than that, because I'm afraid I'll lose my point, but I'll stop there.
If I might narrow it down, how do we, and this, you could extrapolate the world, but you move into another environment that is not conducive, that pulls you away, that makes it more difficult for you to hang on to the friends or,
Mm-hmm.
do your daily work with your friends.
Well, and now I'm starting to formulate an understanding of what you're asking. Interestingly enough, that's actually the lesson we're doing tonight for the young group. So maybe you want to join the young group tonight and hear that lesson. But for anyone else also that wants to. But we're going to be doing the article from Rabash concerning the importance of society, which exactly talks about how do I handle because you think about it, like it or not, our nature is such that we are, this is probably not the real word, but influenceable. Is there such a thing? No. Influenceable? There's a word like that?
You're among friends. Create your own lexicon. You're among friends.
Never heard it.
You never heard it. Okay, that's it. It's a new word. Call Webster right away. We are sponges. Think about it. I mean, I'm trying to think of an example. Everyone knows what a zucchini is, right? A zucchini has no flavor whatsoever. But put salt on it, oh, it tastes salty. Put garlic on it, oh, it's garlicky. Put marinara sauce, oh, it tastes like marinara. But it's a great, medium to carry. It's a nice thing. You can chew on it and it has substance and all that. But it really doesn't add any flavor. It's just a vehicle to add that. Our ego, our will to receive, our nature is that you put it under an environment, good or bad, and it gets influenced. It's nature. What is our work between us? Raising the importance of the goal, raising the importance of the Rav, raising the importance of the friends, raising the importance of the 10, raising the importance of of our purpose. Of course, because we realize that because of the nature of man, because of the way we are the way, you know, we were created. We're going to be sponges to this. This is going to be is something that if I put myself under this, like you called everyone here, wonderful, amazing group of spiritual warriors, when I'm around them, oh boy, it's like, you know, I could give everything up just because I feel that strong about our goal. But I go somewhere else, it's a problem, right? Because I'm influenced by them too. Yes? You give me advice.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. So who's going to help us here in answering this?
Yeah, that matter of fact, Ralph said that's the only choice that one has in Kabbalah is to choose one's environment. That's the only free choice you have.
Exactly. So if that's the case, if the only choice we have is to choose the environment, right? Why is this still a problem? I mean, Annie, you've been around for a few days already, right? Kathy, you've been around. All of us have been around for, you know, more than that one lesson that we learned about the choice, the free choice. Why is it still a problem? Why am I still walking out of this environment, putting myself under another environment, and it's bad? What am I doing wrong? Go ahead, Gary.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, that's why Gary's here. He's going to answer it.
Yeah, right. You're not doing anything wrong. That's the big problem. We always think it's my fault. What am I doing wrong? And if you think there's none else beside him, and every thought and every action, everything that happens in corporeality is the creator acting on you, it's not your fault. But it's not so much what happens to you as to how you react to it, I think, is what's important. If you can see this as an opportunity, these thoughts are coming in. There's no way to escape them. All day long, I always say this, I'm on WFIM, what's in it for me? Ego is just, you know, that's all it wants to do is flood me with it. So what I got to do now, here's the work. I've got to go above that static in the background, above that reason, as best I can, and it's a process. If it was so easy, we'd all be up there, and do the best I can with it, so that I can do that. I mean, there was a time, I mean, how many people are going to do that aside from people in our groups? They're going to say, wait a minute, oh, this is a good thing, even though it looks bad. But we can do that, and the more we try to do that, the better it becomes. The Creator does everything to us, even in the corporeal world. He's not trying to pull us apart from the spiritual world. He's giving us, I don't know whether you say signs and opportunities to maintain a connection with the spirituality. And it's easy to talk about it, but it's so hard. But it's a process. You just gotta keep on doing it. The Rav says it takes years and years and years. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. The doubts are just constant.
More friends. Let's continue this. I want to hear more people adding to this. We might actually get the answer. Robert, Tom, Eddie, Katya, Iris.
The only thing that keeps coming to mind is, I hate to say, oh, I heard the Rob say, because it's been told to us before.
Turn up your volume, Tom.
Excuse me? Say again?
Turn your volume up a bit.
I'm not sure how to do that. Nobody else can hear me either?
No, just get a little closer. That's it. You'll be fine. There you go.
I hate to say I heard the Rob say, because it's been told to us before by Zohar. What I hear the Rob says and what you hear the Rob says are two different things, because we're filtering it in through our different parts of our ego. But we can bring the environment with us. If I'm in corporality and I stop to think about the 10 or my 10, in any given situation, isn't that bringing them with us? I mean, aren't we connected to them? Even though we're not in the Zoom room with them, we can think about them, and there's that connection, whatever you want to call it, a spiritual connection, or maybe a quantum connection, or whatever. But I'm not sure of this, but I think we can bring them with us into corporality if we think about it. If we keep them in our minds. That's all I got. I'm probably wrong, but that's what I'm saying.
More?
It allows us to keep the connection, and it grows in us the importance of connection, because if that's our goal, through this influence of other environments, I feel like Creator shows us how dependent we are on each other. Like, it's the last thing ego wants to feel is dependence on somebody else. But this kind of slowly shows us that, yes, we are completely dependent. There's no life without the friend's influence. And that's actually the only place. And it's like the Creator gently, constantly reminding us.
Beautiful. More?
Yeah, Zohar, I remember, like Tom said, Rob always says, but in a lot of religions, most religions around the world, they always take their environments with them. And Rob also suggested something like that, where he says, if you got to tie a ribbon around your wrist or whatever you have to do, anything to remind you constantly of your friends in the group all day, make whatever effort you can to maintain that state of mind. The environment outside of you, you have no control of, which is what the Creator puts in you. But the environment on the inside of you, internally, that is where you make a concerted effort to maintain your intention and the goal. And as to always be mindful of the friends. My thoughts.
Yeah, always be mindful that our connection is probably the most important thing that we can be thinking about when we think about the friends.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I feel sometimes when I'm completely sucked into corporeal thing, I'm in my mind, I'm bringing my 10, thinking, okay, I'm trying to throw myself and think about my 10, and as if they're right there with me. I really notice in workshop that sometimes Rav gives question and I'm like, I have no idea what the answer. But as soon as someone starts to open their mouth and start to answer, I feel like suddenly rains of answers comes to my head. And it's beautiful. At the end, when everybody said their piece, we have this beautiful answer that no one could have come by themselves. I mean,
Who did we miss?
Robert?
Eddie?
Yeah, I haven't spoken yet either, but I agree with what Adam said. It's all about the connection, not only to our team but to the world Klee. And as far as taking the environment with you, I wouldn't say you can necessarily take the environment with you. You can take things that you practice in the environment to other environments and try to influence them in the same way.
If I might add one more thing, the word wrong got thrown in there, and I really tried to avoid that, because if you know that you're being guided into this other environment, you can't say it's wrong or right. It's just, you know that you're there because the Creator has placed you there. And I agree, you have the opportunity. And I really like what everyone said about, thinking of the friends and being mindful. Yeah, I think the word wrong it gets to be taken out of here. And I guess maybe the question is, that's the one thing we can choose. Well, what if the creator puts you in an environment where you can't choose?
That's a very good question. I'm going to type that in the chat too. And Annie, if you look in the chat, I kind of typed questions for everything that you were talking about without using the word wrong. But what was that last one you just said? That's a good word. Oh, what if you can't?
Is it possible that the creator would put us in an environment that is not perfect for what we need?
No, the perfect wouldn't do the imperfect, would he?
Say again?
The most perfect wouldn't do the imperfect, would he? Maybe that's just our perception.
Okay.
He would if we needed to advance in something.
Right. So if he gives me something that seems, oh, but this is distracting, this is an obstacle, this is going to cause a descent, what are we thinking to ourselves? Oh, he was probably napping and he didn't notice. He gave me the wrong environment. He mixed things up. There is no such thing. The creator is absolute law that is, set in stone. Nothing changes here. It's perfect. There's no such thing as you are put under something that you're not supposed to be put under. The theater which you call your life, the reality you live in, the million thoughts, like Gary said, the doubts, everything that comes our way, it's all from him. It's all meant to come to us. We get everything like that. It's like given to us on a platter. Here, this is what you need. Take this. Listen to the lessons from this week about descent for the sake of ascent. I'm telling you, you'll see a lot of huge discernments there. There is no, what the friends who have been through those lessons, what the words that start coming out of people's mouths. In other words, technically there is no such thing as a descent. There's no bad. It's all for the good. It's all leading me to the good. So why do we even call it a descent, right? It's like, it's like that's where you start realizing. Maybe for my ego, it appears that way. It puts me in a bad mood or a good mood or whatever like that. We need to stop associating ourselves with that and start associating ourselves with, that's where I'm going. Is it leading me there? If it's not, I need to correct. I need to lead me there. I need to get there all the time. That's what matters. I want to get there. I need to get there. I'm supposed to get there. That would be serving the king. That would be serving the society. That would be serving the goal. And everything else, it feels like we're going up on the roller coaster. We're going down on the roller coaster. It doesn't matter. We're going to the end where you get off.
Yeah, something that I heard a long time ago. He said to me, Gary, you got to get rid of your likes and dislikes, your hopes and fears, your imaginary suffering. Stay on the goal, because what I like and dislike will change constantly. As I see things differently, I'll perceive them differently. But it's very hard. How do you get rid of your likes and I like this. I don't like that, but at least try not to be as extreme on it. It's very hard because I hate this. I like this. There is no good and bad. I've listened to Rav say that many times. There's no good and bad. We just perceive it as good and bad at this stage in our development. But it's there for a reason. The evil inclination is there for a reason. Everything's there for a reason. It isn't an emotional thing. We interpret it emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
It's
beautiful.
That reminds me of something I read. I read the Rob's blog quite a bit. I can't quote it exactly, but he was talking about Deuteronomy, and he was saying anything we're wishing for, it's really the Creator wishing in us. Anything we think about ourselves or we think about others is really the Creator. And what point are we? We are that point of examination that can step back from that and realize that these things that I'm wishing for, these things that I'm thinking, are not really me. It's the creator. That's all.
Right. I was teaching a class earlier, and one of the people said, it's amazing how the creator is. Every time I have a thought about something, he gives me all these things that are exactly about that thought. And we started laughing because who gave you that thought to start with? He gave you the whole package. He gave you the thought and everything that has to go with that thought. It's all there from the creator. We with our, we're the bosses of something. We think at least we're the bosses of something. We look at it and we're like, well, I instigated something. I created a thought, and then the creator was nice enough to give me what I needed to accomplish that thought. That's our limited vision. Everything is for the good. If you want to deepen a little on that question that you asked earlier, Annie and Kathy, like I said, the young group lesson in half an hour will be devoted for an hour and a half on that topic, or anyone else who wanted to. We're going to go to the prayer right now. I think you guys are amazing. I think, the discernments are just off the chart awesome. We're all advancing. Let's keep at it. And the bottom line is, you want to be influenced by the environment 24 hours a day. Even when it seems like you're not there. You just need to make there here. What that means, figure that out between us in the 10. But there has to be here always. When there is there, I'm under foreign influences. I'm under, so-called harmful bad influences. But if I want to constantly be on the go, I make sure that here never goes there. It's always with me. It's always around me. Whether I make it artificially around me, whether I create silly gadgets and apps and things that remind me, whatever it takes. Because our nature is such that what's the new word that we're adding to Webster? Influenceable.
Influence.
Okay.
I think it's a proper word.
That's the meaning of Kofifi.
How about we are influenced?
Should we be vaccinated for that?
Yeah, right. I was thinking the same thing. As long as it's not influenza, we're good.
Yeah, and the vaccine is the friends. So, yes, inject yourself with it 24 hours a day. Alone, we're worthless, nothing. Little ants that can be crushed. And if you're wondering why it's so difficult, what do you think? That your ego hasn't had practice in resisting? It's had practice all your life. It was created by the creator himself, implanted in you, and it's your whole essence. So no wonder it's a little difficult to resist that thing. It's like, but with the friends, the light, the creator, the teacher, all of that together, we will rise above it. We won't even beat it. We'll rise above it. It'll sit there and let it sit down there and wallow in its misery. We'll be above it. Only together.
So every time I get in that state and I have these feelings of I'm being influenced and I can't resist these corporeal depressions, I always look up and I always tell the creator, well done, creator, well done, good job. No matter how I try and fight, these feelings come over me. I just congratulate them. I say, well done. I'll turn to my friends now. And that's it.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, at the worst moment of stuff happening, that's a great policy, Derek, because if you can kick it in right in the middle of a tragedy, it's amazing. And you're all great enough to do that.
Bye, friends.
Bye, friends.
Oh, look how your friends show you.